What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a Thursday night edition of Eagles Therapy Hour, where we desperately need it, myself included. Welcome to this Tuesday night edition. Where do I begin? You know, the last time you saw me, it looked like I was ready to jump off a cliff in Cleveland if they even have it. I think they have a river. I wouldn't have died because I would have jumped in. It would have been 5 feet. It wouldn't have been enough. You know, I was really depressed. And had nothing to do with me drinking. It had nothing to do with it because obviously I did it. I was on vacation in Cleveland. Like Joe Kim Noah says, who goes to vacation on Cleveland? Yeah, my fault. I did. Yeah, it was brutal. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, at least the plane ride was like 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. I feel bad for people like Trevor that drove 6-7 hours to get to Cleveland to watch that game. 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back was more than enough. You know, even the plane ride back, there was turbulence. Felt like I was going to throw up. There were no bags to throw up in at all. You know, it was just a disaster. It was a disaster on top of shit, on top of toxic waste. It was just a disaster of a trip. All right. And I'm not saying because my friends, because the people that I met, like Trevor's friends, the people that I met, they were great. Like, especially Brad and people like that. They were great people. They really were. I had an awesome time with them, but my God, don't ever move to the city of Cleveland. It is a dump. It is a shithole. There's nothing to do there. Literally nothing besides the Barley House and this one place called the Modo or some Model, whatever it was, I guess. But anywhere you go to drink, I guess it's all right. I'm going to talk about the fans real quick before I jump into this whole conversation when it comes to the Eagles Therapy Hour, because you guys need to lift your spirits up on this a little bit. The fans in Cleveland are shitty, dude. They're so shitty. We sat in the dog pound, so Trevor and I knew exactly what we were going to get ourselves into for this show, for this game. But with that said, I didn't know how bad their fans were, especially for a piece of shit, dog shit franchise like the Cleveland Browns. You know, obviously the person sitting next to me was Trevor's friend that I met. Great dude. And he was in my post-game video. He was the most honest fan, the most loyal fan, the most passionate fan you'll ever meet. But I'm going to tell you a little story real quick, and this is from the heart. This is the truth, all right? Earlier on in the game, there were these 3 20-year-olds. You know, 20-year-olds are stupid, obviously, but there were these 3 20-year-olds that were actually talking nice to me, Trevor and I. They were saying, you know, at least you have a Super Bowl, and we thought they were actually pretty cool. Then, like, 30 to 45 minutes later, I guess the alcohol kicked in a little bit. And this one schmuck down like 5 rows throws a fucking hand warmer at me. And I'm like, did he just throw that at me? So what did I do? I took the hand warmer and I tossed it back at him. I didn't throw it. I tossed it back at him. I was like, throw it at me again, see what happens. He stared at me for the next 2 minutes. I did not take my eyes off him. I was staring at him like a pissed-off UFC fighter. I was just staring into his eyes. And guess what he did? He bluffed. He tossed it away. He was like, he shook his head. He's like, yeah, you won. No shit, I won. Because you know what was going to happen if he threw that at me? Trevor was sitting right next to me. He could vouch for me. If he threw that back at me, that may have been caught on camera by somebody else. It wouldn't have been caught on me. It wouldn't have been caught on camera by me. And guess what? Trevor and I would have got blamed for it. Because that's what happens to Eagles fans. Everyone thinks Eagles fans are the biggest pieces of shit to ever walk the earth. Most of the time, we get baited, you know, and that's what the media won't talk about. We get baited into situations like that because I would have literally rearranged that kid's face. It would have been really bad because I was already pissed off as it was, and have someone throw something at me. Like, listen, I have thick skin when it comes to people trash talking me. You guys know this. Don't throw stuff at me, and don't spit at me. Those are the 2 things I will not tolerate, and he was smart by not throwing it back at me because I was livid from the first time. I was like, dude, you're literally just talking nice to me. Why are you throwing stuff at me? Like, seriously. Then they were saying, like, wait. We pointed back to him. We were going like this. I think this pissed them off a little bit, but we were going like this when they were talking trash. And they were like, you won it with Nick Foles. He's not even here anymore. We still have a fucking Super Bowl. What does it matter? That's the stupidest response. You guys had a 1-15 season and a 0-16 season. We've never had anything close to a 0-16 season before. You know, so shut the fuck up. All right? The stadium wasn't bad in itself. I think it was First Energy Stadium. It wasn't bad in itself. It was actually a half decent stadium. But I honestly, I can't give too much respect to the Cleveland Browns fans because of that one incident. That one incident was just bullshit. Now, thank God they got kicked out because the zip ties that separate the seats, they stomped on it so it wouldn't be divided, and that's a big no-no. Hopefully they got fined too because they're a bunch of schmucks. With that said, how are you guys doing tonight? We have a lot to talk about. Eagles Therapy Hour. I need it. You need it. And we're going to talk about this game a little bit. Now, the start of the game, we were looking pretty damn good. It looked like we were going to steamroll the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I do not think the Cleveland Browns are a good football team. I truly don't. I think Baker Mayfield stinks. Without his wheels, he can't do anything. He can't run like he did in college because he'd get lit the fuck up. He overthrew people right in the middle of the end zone, right in the corner of the end zone. Baker Mayfield stinks. They're the most overrated, garbage 7-3 team of all time. But when Miles Sanders fumbled the football at the beginning of the game, it was a momentum killer. It was a pure momentum killer. Everyone's saying, Doug, why did you go away from the run? It's pretty simple. When you burn that much time off the clock with one of the best drives I've seen during the season, you can't really run the football anymore because at that point you do not trust Miles Sanders to run the football. Everyone wants to blame Doug. And it's like people like me see the bigger picture. Has Doug been the greatest this year? No, he hasn't. He's kind of stunk. But if you're going to put this all on Doug, when we were doing nothing but running the ball the first drive and it looked like we were going to go into the end zone easily, and then we fumble the ball like that, you're going to have to shy away from the run. Because, number one, they know it's coming, and number two, they know how to attack your weaknesses at that point because Miles Sanders can't hold on to the football. What are you going to do, run Boston Scott? Boston Scott's really been beneficial towards the Giants. Every other team has been like, meh, whatever. Miles Sanders is this elite guy. He's been this elite guy that you've been talking about, the guy from Penn State, elite. I think he's good at best, personally. He's missing something to his game. But if you fumble on top of missing something to your game, you're not elite to me. And you're barely good to me, honestly. So right now, Miles Sanders is on my shit list. But that's pretty much answering the questions about Doug not having these guys ready to play, not having them prepared, And Doug, in the first drive, the team looked immaculate. They looked phenomenal. The defense came to play. The defense, I'm going to give props to the defense. The defense played phenomenal. They really did. Everyone could say, oh, what are you talking about? They scored on us when it mattered. Well, I'm sitting here next to my friend Trevor, and we were driving down the field. I told him, I turned to him with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. We were driving down the field. I guarantee you we are going to win this game because the Cleveland Browns cannot move the football on us. They cannot. They suck. All right? We are moving down the field, and guess what happens? Carson Wentz throws a brutal interception with like 4 minutes to go, and it completely killed everything. Now we scored a garbage time touchdown, and with the offensive, what is it? Fuck, I can't even say the word. The kickoff, the onside kickoff. With the rules changing to the onside kickoff, we had no shot at that point. Now, if you had the rules from the onside kickoff in prior years, we would have had a shot because we were moving the ball at the end of the game. The garbage time touchdown actually wasn't really garbage time because in years before, we would have still had a shot. Unfortunately, we didn't have any timeouts, so the game was over. But the Cleveland Browns aren't a good football team. They're not. I'm not fooled by that 7-3 record. They're really not a good football team. They have two of the best backs in the league. All right, granted, Myles Garrett was out on the other side, but they have two of the best backs in the league with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And they couldn't blow us out of the water. That's because their QB stinks. Their offensive rhythm stinks. Their defense is They're obviously missing Myles Garrett, but not that much because they still kind of shut us down. We just couldn't capitalize because we just don't have any consistency. We don't have any consistency. We have no rhythm. There were times where players were wide open, like Jalen Regg's before that pick six, wide open. And Carson Wentz completely just misses them. Like he just doesn't see them. And everyone wants to say Jalen Reagor's a bust. If Jalen Reagor had a guy throwing his way, Jalen Reagor would be a top 10 wide receiver in this league right now. And I'm confident saying that because the guy is a stud. He's a beast. He just needs the guy to throw his way at all times. Jalen Reagor is going to be a stud in this league. And I'm confident saying that. And there were a lot of obvious negatives in that game. I don't know one positive, honestly, besides the defense. I really don't. The defense came to play. It was rainy. It was football weather. I loved it. I love being out there in the cold. I love when it rains. But other than that, I don't know what I enjoyed out of Cleveland as a trip in general. I got my ass kicked at the casino. Got fucking butt fucked at the casino, destroyed in blackjack. Then I played Ultimate Texas Hold'em because regular poker isn't open. Got my ass kicked in that. I was like, holy fuck, am I ever going to win a hand? I was doing everything right, and I couldn't win shit. I couldn't win shit if my life depended on it. It was weird, And I'm going to answer this one. Moneyman420. You sound like you were going to cry after the Browns game. I was on the verge. I've just about had enough. I've had enough. I don't give a fuck. Listen, I don't care about the Super Bowl anymore. I truly don't. We have a title. Yay, it took us long enough. I want more than that. I always said I wanted one Super Bowl before I died. But, I'd appreciate if the team was good enough to at least make a run every single year like we were in the early 2000s and still have that Super Bowl title to where if we got eliminated, I wouldn't care as much. But right after they won the Super Bowl, they've been just an awful franchise, just on the decline every single year. And that's not how it's supposed to go. We cannot compete, and we're somehow first in the division. And this is a problem when you pay a guy $100 million. When you're 3-6-1 and the other teams are completely butt-ass, all right? The Dallas Cowboys stink. The Redskins stink. The Giants stink. When you can't run away in a division like this with a $100 million guy that you're so confident on, with Miles Sanders that you're so confident on, granted, the offensive line's not the greatest. I understand that. But when you can't run away with division with all these teams just sucking up a storm, I just don't know what to say anymore. I truly don't. Especially if we end up winning this division, which I hope we don't. But if we win this division, we'll end up with the 18th pick overall, and it will mean absolutely nothing because we're going to get trounced by Tom Brady. Absolutely trounced. I don't care if he looks like a shell of himself. I don't care if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't have any chemistry. I do not care. If they play in Philly, even in front of fans, we are going to lose that game by 30 fucking points. We're not winning a playoff game. We're going to end up with the 18th pick overall. We don't know how to draft. If we got the 5th pick overall or lower, those picks fall in your lap. Those are guarantees. Look at the draft board right now. The Giants, Cowboys, and Redskins are all in the top 10. All in the top 10. If we lose out, we'll probably be top 5. Easily. The only teams worse than us right now, I personally don't think any team is worse than us. Honestly, not even the Jets. The only teams worse than us record-wise are Cincinnati, the Jets, and the Jaguars. That's it. So we'd probably end up with the 4th pick overall, which would be phenomenal for a future of the franchise, especially if Carson Wentz somehow miraculously finds his game within the next year. That would be so great for our franchise because you're obviously going to take an offensive lineman or a linebacker. So that would be great for our franchise, especially in a year like COVID when there's no fans in the stands and it's not like the same level of intensity as it would be. This is one of those years where it's like it would have been cool to win the Super Bowl. At the same time, if you won it, it would have an asterisk because there's no fans in the stands and the fans make the NFL. So it's like, do you really want it at the end of the day? I don't want to go to the playoffs. I'm sorry. I just don't. If that makes me a bad fan, so be it. I don't want to go to the playoffs. I know I was always one of those optimistic fans 5 years ago. I'm like, if you go to the playoffs, you could make a run. Can you guys imagine something? Can you guys imagine if we got to the playoffs as a 4-11-1 football team and we went on to go to the Super Bowl and we won the Super Bowl? You guys in the back of your mind wouldn't think, we got into the playoffs, but we were still 4-11-1 in the regular season. All of a sudden we won the Super Bowl. You know how bad that would look on the league? The league would fucking disband because the rules of the divisional games, that would just change the rules forever. That's bad. That's bad for the game. It really is. I agree with other fan bases when they're pissed off that the first place team in this division will go to the playoffs. I agree with that. I think you should earn it. The first place divisional team, especially in this division, does not deserve it. They do not deserve to go to the playoffs whatsoever. Every fucking team in this division stinks. Every single one. And I hear these Giants fans like Bad Dog, the Entertainer, Eric PABC on Twitter saying, Let's just go to the playoffs. Let's get our T-shirts. And then we could go into September, like, going off of momentum. At least we got to the playoffs. It's not supposed to be like that. It's not supposed to be like that. And if you're fucking happy that you got first place and probably will win 5 games at max this year and go to the playoffs, shame on you. Absolutely fucking shame on you. The fact that you would rather go to the playoffs with a 5-win team when you desperately need more talent on your team. The Giants aren't even finished. They're not even finished rebuilding. They're not. They're nowhere close. If you would rather go to the measly playoffs, the playoffs with a measly 5-11 record and not get another player to help your team, those are bad fans. Those are incredibly bad fans. Like, are they that delusional? Are they that, like, sad inside that they'd rather get their asses kicked in the playoffs to get another top 5 pick? Like, I would love for them to make the playoffs. Go fucking make the playoffs. Get a T-shirt. Get a T-shirt that I can wipe my ass with when I get bounced. Send the fucking T-shirts overseas to homeless people. Like, you'd rather get a participation trophy for being in the worst division in football. Go for it. Have it. Go get it. I don't care. Win the division. I just don't give a shit. Giants, go win the division. Get the 18th pick overall. Everyone knows that it's a joke. Everyone does, because you will not win a fucking game. And then give that pick to us so it can be better than you next year when you have a first place division record schedule. First place schedule with a 5-11 record. I would love that. We would be probably like 3rd or 4th place, so we get a 3rd or 4th place schedule next year. Get the first place schedule with that measly garbage team that you have there. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. You know? And Giants fans, listen, I know there's a couple in the chat right now, and I know I'm not getting to a lot of these comments, but I have a lot to say. If you guys go to the playoffs, are you really happy with that? Like, truly, I think Joe Judge is one of the worst coaches I've ever seen. Not worse than Doug. Doug's been pretty fucking bad. But Joe Judge isn't a good coach. Don't let these other content creators on YouTube fool you. Joe Judge has major flaws as a head coach. Major. You know, that's why you guys have only won 3 games this year. He has major flaws. All right? Daniel Jones, I think he's a better quarterback than I first predicted he would have been. But Daniel Jones, at least, his mechanics are getting better. Joe Judge, his situational coaching, his play calls at times are just abysmal. Like, absolutely abysmal. And people are saying, oh, this guy's going to be great. Joe Judge is going to be he's going to be one of the best head coaches in the division. All right, whatever floats your boat. Go to the fucking playoffs, get the first place schedule next year, and give us a better pick. I would love it. At that point, I'd root for the Giants. I'd be like, yeah, Giants, keep winning. Go. I know how bad you guys suck. I know how bad you guys need a top 5 pick. I know it. So go get it. Go get it. Giants, take that fucking win against us this year, against one of the worst Eagles teams this year, and shove it right up your ass. Go to the playoffs and get your asses kicked. Get a bottom, what is it? A middle of the board draft pick and a first place schedule next year. Oh my God, I'd have a field day with that next year. Go get it. I'd be rooting for you guys. I hate you fucking guys so much. All right, so the top 5 pick, I would go. All right, so this is my order, Eagle Speed. I would go O-line, linebacker, Jamar Chase in that order. So anyone on O-line, anyone on linebacker, or Jamar Chase. If Jamar Chase is there, I think he's a no-brainer because I think he's the next best wide receiver coming out of the draft. So that's my order. Stuck with Wentz. Wentz is going to be here whether people like it or not. Do I like it? No, not really. That brings me to the title of the stream. Is Jalen Hurts the answer when Wentz is not? No, he's not. You guys don't understand something. I know you guys want to bench Carson Wentz. And I agree with you. I think he should be put on the bench. I think he should watch from the sidelines until he can get his shit together, learn how to play the game again, and then get back on the field when we need him the most next year. because he's clearly not injury prone. I mean, he played the whole fucking season, and he's been a complete ass. But you put Jalen Hurts in there, you'll find out immediately that this guy is one of the worst QBs you've ever seen. Like, if you thought Carson Wentz was bad this year, times that by 10. Jalen Hurts' game barely, and I mean barely, flourished at the college level, playing against no defensive teams. And when he played with a team against defense in Georgia in the national title game, a freshman named Tua came and took his place and won the championship for them. Because this guy does not know how to view reads against good defenses. He doesn't. He's been babied his whole career in college. We took him in the fucking second round. The second round. I can understand. I can understand if you wanted a quarterback to replace Carson Wentz because you thought it was a joke of the contract that you signed him to, but that's your fault to begin with. I can understand that, but you couldn't pick someone like Jordan Love, the QB on Green Bay that they're looking to replace Aaron Rodgers with one day. You couldn't trade up and go get him. You had to go with a guy that was like a projected 4th to 5th round pick. Like, you really had to. Like, if you want a quarterback, I understand that. But at the same time, it's like, give me a fucking break with this Jalen Hurts nonsense. Every single play that he's been in this year, they ran the Wildcat, and he does option plays. That's all he does. Everyone knows what's coming. He can't throw the ball. He can't do anything. Just transition him to a fullback. Transition him. He's not a good quarterback. If he was a good quarterback, they probably would have benched Wentz 2 games ago. I'm being completely honest with you. Someone's going to go in this offseason. Wentz is definitely going to come back. Doug's going to come back. That leaves one guy out the door. Howie Roseman, out. Jeffrey Lurie, you got to do your job. You got to do your job as the owner in the city of Philadelphia for the Philadelphia Eagles and get one of these fucking losers off the team, all right? Because we are going nowhere quick. We are going south quick. And we've been going fucking south for the last 2.5 fucking years. And if it weren't for Nick Foles and that magic that he brought to the team because he fit well here, we would have missed the playoffs 3 consecutive seasons because we are going to miss the playoffs this year. So, it's up to you. As Andy Reid always said, time's yours. And that's another thing. I would never bring back Andy Reid. Ever. I don't care if he looks good with one of the best QBs I've ever seen. I don't care. He had 14 years here to win something. It means nothing. It means nothing to me. He didn't win here. He could go fuck himself. It means nothing to me. I don't care. Nitro, who's winning the NFC East? I hope the Giants do so they get a first-place schedule next year and an 18th pick overall. I hope they do. Guys, Hurts has 6 fumbles in 5 games. Blah, blah, blah. He's trash on limited snaps. Yes. So why would they put him in for Carson Wentz? At least Carson Wentz, can at least kind of run an offense. Jalen Hurts, you think he can run an offense? Seriously? Updated opinion on Fulgham. I think he got found out a little bit. He still reminds me of how Randy Moss used to play, but I think I jumped the gun on that a little bit. I hope he comes back to his strides eventually, but for him to come back to his strides, he needs a QB that can't throw 15 miles over his head. So it's going to be kind of different. What's my opinion on Washington? Stink. Nick Foles is injured. Yeah, Nick Foles is injured. Thoughts on Jim Schwartz? I think Jim Schwartz is a very good defensive coordinator. Very good defensive coordinator. I do not know why the fans are getting him shit. I have no idea why. He doesn't have a linebacking core. He has no linebacking core. But what do you expect him to do? Like, seriously. The pressure's not getting there. The secondary is meh. What do you expect him to do? I think he's a very, very, very good defensive coordinator. I don't think he's going anywhere. Kyle, you need a quarterback. I know we do, but the thing is, his second contract didn't even get put into gear yet. That's my problem. We're going to have to take a huge penalty on that. And you never want to do that. I don't think anyone would take his contract, besides the Indianapolis Colts, where he fits with Frank Reich, and he'd probably tear it up over there because Frank Reich is a genius. But I don't see us getting rid of him. I don't. Carson has been hit 94 times and sacked 40 times. Okay. There are numerous times this year where he had over 4 seconds to throw the ball, and he holds on to it for dear life. There was that one play in the game on Sunday where we were backed up into our end zone, and my friend Trevor next to me, he's like, this is going to be a safety because the offensive line sucks. Sure enough, it was a safety because our offensive line sucks. But he had 2 seconds to throw the ball. He could have threw that shit out of bounds. He could have. There were wide receivers on the sideline. It wouldn't have been grounded. He could have threw it away. And here's another thing. As an NFL quarterback in Carson Wentz, when you know, and I repeat this, when you know your offensive line is injured, when you know your offensive line isn't that good, you have to adjust. You know, you have to look at film. Maybe you do look at film and it doesn't process in your brain because they're stupid, but you have to look at film and see how the offensive line protects you. You know, if they don't protect you up to your standards, you have to adjust. And I don't know, use your fucking legs that made you elite 3 years ago. Or maybe if you don't have legs anymore, I don't know, throw the fucking ball away when you see a big-ass motherfucker coming trying to kill you. Just a thought. Yep. Oh, he's on Periscope. I wonder how many people are Periscope. I don't keep updates on that. But why can't he run? It's a good question. I think he's either number one, he lost his speed since the surgery, which would make sense, or two, he's scared. If he's scared and he signed that contract, that would be a big sham. Like that would be the biggest scam of all time. I think Zomp said something. Let me go back to his comment. I think he said something. Comments are running fast. It was all the way down here. I'll try to find your comments off. I think you said something. This is going by quick, really. Quick. No matter what we do, if Howie Roseman is still the GM here, it doesn't matter. Too much control for a GM who has set the team back more than he helped us win. I agree. The guy is a bum. Listen, you're not going to hear any disagreements from me. You're just not. I've had it with how he played on this team for the last 2.5 years. I really do. And people want to say, it's because you're biased for Nick Foles. You wanted Nick Foles here. Well, let me answer that real quick, all right? And 3 of my friends agree with me. Any time a QB wins you the Super Bowl, like literally, like it doesn't matter if they played in the regular season or not, any QB who wins you the Super Bowl, you just do not get rid of. It's logic. It's just logic. Now, granted, we didn't know what kind of skill Carson Wentz would have brought back the next season, all right? But when something's so clear-cut, all right, when something's so clear-cut and dry and made it look easy at that in the last 2 games of the season, when something's so clear-cut, logic says you stick with the guy who won you the game. That's the logic. You know, you ever hear the saying, if it isn't broke, don't fix it? This is why Brett Favre said they should have stuck with Nick Foles. Because not only did he win us the Super Bowl, the next year when Carson Wentz went down again, he got us to the playoffs. And we beat one team, and we almost beat 2 teams. One of those teams being the top seed in the playoffs. So, logic would have said you kept Nick Foles. But obviously, they couldn't just get rid of Carson Wentz because of the skill he possessed and showed throughout the 2017 season. So I get it. I get why we kept Carson Wentz. But the thing is when you're thinking with your brain and you're using logic, you don't get rid of the guy who won you the whole fucking thing. You just don't. You know? And I don't – listen – I'm going to read Lamont's comment. I never support Nick Foles. I hate on Nick Foles when they sign him. I'm not a Foles fan. I'm an Eagles fan. The guy can't move. He's a stiff. All right, well, listen to this. All that might be true. He's a stiff. He can't move. Whatever. Facts don't lie. Facts were he had a 27-2 season in Chip Kelly's offense. Facts. Doug Peterson knew how to coach him. Facts. The guy won our first Super Bowl in franchise history. Those are plain facts. He was great here. He was perfect here. I understand why we got rid of him. I understand completely. All right? But actually, let me go back a little bit. I understand why we would have got rid of him in 2018, right before the season after he won us the Super Bowl, so Carson Wentz could do his thing off of injury. I don't understand why they got rid of him when he got us to the playoffs in back-to-back years when we were drawing dead on the river. That's the one thing I don't understand. He showed you time in and time out that he took a team, the second year, he took a team in Carson Wentz's third year that Carson couldn't do anything. They got killed to the New Orleans Saints 45-7 in November of that year. All right. Went to overtime with the Dallas Cowboys, lost that game. That was the last game of the year. We were 13.5-point underdogs against the Los Angeles Rams. Nick Foles was the backup. Going into that game, everyone's like, oh, this team sucks. Doesn't matter if Nick has magic. We're not going to win. Nick balled out that game. He did what he had to do. He was a quarterback on a mission. First, the Houston Texans, he had a career day for the franchise. A record passing yards in a single game against the Houston Texans. And we need a little bit of help from the Chicago Bears being the Minnesota Vikings last game of the season. We ended up beating the Washington Redskins. Not beating, shutting out the Washington Redskins of the last game of that year to get into the playoffs. That brings me to another point. The team around him. Are there many missing pieces from that team right now that are still on the team? I mean, Malcolm Jenkins left. Yeah, I get that. Still have Fletcher Cox, still have Brandon Graham. We still have a decent amount of pieces from that team. When Carson Wentz went down that year, didn't it look like that they wanted to play for Nick Foles over Carson Wentz? They created a fucking shrine for him. They created a shrine. And people were asking right away, they were like, where is Carson Wentz's shrine? Why don't they talk about Carson Wentz like this? Maybe the team just doesn't like playing for Carson Wentz because he's not a leader. All right? Does that solve it? Players, believe it or not, choose who to like because that's who they work best with. If you see Carson Wentz's mechanics this year, they're horrible. His mechanics are absolutely terrible. He pulls his arm all the way back to throw the ball. When you snap the ball in the NFL, you need to get the ball out of your hand in 2 seconds or less. The way he holds the ball back, all the way back here, and then launches that's at least 2.5 seconds. You're getting hit. On that pick six the other day against the Cleveland Browns, if that were Nick Foles, that ball would have been out of his hand. Carson Wentz took too long, got hit, boom, pick six, other way. Reagor was wide open. Didn't throw it to him. And I was actually defending Carson on that play on Twitter. I was like, you know what? Carson got hit. It wasn't really his fault. He didn't have enough time. Then Zop, out of all people, showed me film. Showed me that Regs was wide open. If that were any other QB, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, even fucking Daniel Jones, that would have been a touchdown going the other way. And Carson Wentz fucked it up. Yeah. So, I don't know what else to say when it comes to that. Maybe my logic's just better than other people's. Everyone's saying that I'm a little bit cocky. I don't like to be cocky because I don't like to say I'm smarter than everyone else. But for the last 2.5 years, 3 years, I think I have been smarter than every other Eagles YouTuber and personality and podcaster, to be honest with you. I really do, because the things that I see, they don't see. When I explain it, I get made fun of because I'm not supposed to bash a player on this team. And then everyone's like, oh, you just like Nick Foles. Well, yeah, I do like Nick Foles. He won me a Super Bowl. Yes, I do. All right? I don't bash a guy that won the Super Bowl for us. And here's another thing. Victor Jimenez. I think I pronounced that right. Wentz goes to work every day seeing the Nick Foles statue. If that genuinely bothers Carson Wentz, he's a weak-minded person and does not deserve to be under center for any team in the league. If that genuinely bothers him, you should just get rid of that contract when you can, because that's incredibly poor. That's as bad as it gets if that bothers you. No football IQ. Yep, nope. He gives a fuck what Wentz thinks. He's a fucking idiot. Anyways, he came from North Dakota State. With his talent coming out of the draft, how he didn't get into any top D1 school, maybe it goes to show you that he couldn't. because he's not smart, you know? Yeah, Victor Jimenez. To me it was easy to pronounce because I used to work with a ton of Spanish people, so it was very, very easy to pronounce. Shouldn't bother someone making that much money. Exactly. I mean, that's another thing. Money isn't necessarily everything. So I kind of, in a way, Jake, I kind of disagree with that point because, I made more money than I've ever made in my life just this year alone. All right. But I was still thinking to myself, I was like, no, COVID kind of sucks. I didn't make a ton of money, but nothing's changing. It kind of sucks. So that's another thing. It's like, yeah, he makes a ton of money, but if nobody likes you, does it really matter? At the end of the day, money's not everything. It's not. Money makes your life easier. It doesn't necessarily make you happier. You know what I'm saying? That's a misconception that everyone get all the time. What are my thoughts on Cleveland as a city? It is one of the most depressing cities I've ever been to in my life. It was pretty fucking bad. I wouldn't wish living there on any of my enemies ever. It is a very, very, very depressing city. Money just passed around. Yep. Listen, the money that I give to the teller, to a supermarket, bank, whatever, the money I give to the teller ends up in your pocket, Alex. It's just passed around. You're exactly right. Everyone makes money. Everyone wants the most money in the world. That's just how life works. If you don't like money, why do you like living? Money's everything. Money's fucking everything. That's why these athletes ask for so much money so their lives can be comfortable because they spend it like idiots. They spend on cars, boats, houses. Houses are a great investment. Boats are one of the worst investments. Cars are one of the worst investments. Jewelry, actually, if you buy watches, earrings, they could be good investments because, they're never going to go old. But most of them spend it on a ton of cars, which are just some of the worst investments ever, Yeah, I mean, if you're poor, money will make you sad. But if you have it, it doesn't really make you happy. Can it make you a better person? Yeah, sure. Can it make your life easier? Yeah, sure. Doesn't necessarily make you happier. What's up, Buckeye Fanatic? How you doing? I'm surprised you went there. It was only like a 45-minute flight. It wasn't that tough to get to. And plus, Trevor wanted me to go. Bingo Nitro, impact over income. No one is that important. Exactly. What are my thoughts on New York City? I used to love the city. Now I hate it. If you live there, your mayor completely destroyed that city. Bill de Blasio is the biggest asshole on the face of the earth. I agree with everything you're saying. Thanks, Ben. What specifically about Cleveland makes it a crappy city? It's tough to explain. Number one, there's nothing to really do there besides the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and a casino. I liked going to Progressive Field when I was there last. But there's nothing really to do there, and it's always gloomy there. There's not much money out there. I just don't see anything great about the city of Cleveland, especially when I was there sitting at the football game. Yeah, it was raining. It was just the definition of Cleveland. It's just I didn't see anything out of it, to be honest with you. When you're filthy rich, you just hit the greed level. Yes, when you have $1 million in your bank account, you don't see it as having $1 million in your bank account. You want $10 million in your bank account. It never ends. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad concept, but that's just how it is. People are never satisfied. Nitro, where are you from? I'm a little bit outside of Trenton, New Jersey. But the weather was nasty. You could have got sick. I wish on you just saying it is what it is. It's football weather. It's football weather. You could get sick from COVID. COVID, I mean, people are getting sick every day. What do you think about Joe Burrow's injury? It's sad. I mean, I'm wishing him the best of luck in recovery. I really am. I will say this, though. When Carson Wentz got injured, the guy was mocked, laughed at, pissed on. Like, there are fans chanting ACL, ACL. You want to know why? Because people hate our franchise. That's why. Didn't matter who the quarterback was. They just don't like us. And it's sad. It's sad. Joe Burrow's injury was no different from Carson Wentz's. He got loved for it. Carson Wentz got bashed for it. And that's the sad thing about it. That's the really sad thing about it. I'm not going to bash Joe Burrow because I'm not a piece of shit human being. But the fans and the people that jeered Carson Wentz for having that kind of injury, they're going to hell. Like, they truly are. And that's just all there is to it. How are the Cleveland Browns fans? Are they nice? Well, a couple of people spoiled it for the rest of them. But other than that, they weren't terrible. Gambling only brings misery, bruh, because like you said, you'll never get satisfied. E-Dog, you ain't lying, all right? Now, there's the games I play in the casino. I just like to go there to blow off steam. I have fun. I have the funds to do it, so it didn't really bother me. I have more winnings than losses, but like you said, it never ends. You know, the only thing that a casino brings is money to the house. You know, you're going to have your great days. You're going to win $10,000, all right? I won, what was it, like $11,000 on blackjack in September. I lost $1,800 at Jack Casino, all right? So I'm still up from 2 months ago. But going back to your point, the game is designed for you to eventually give all that back in due time. It just is. You know, it's just the way they designed it. You know, you're always going to have that one table. I believe 10% of tables are profitable for players and 90% are profitable for the casino. So if you don't find that table each and every time, that 10% table, you're going to get fucked hard. Like you truly are. And like you said, gambling, it can be fun. But when you're on a bad streak, you just want to quit. Like, yeah, like I'm not one of those people that chases. Like I just don't. Whenever I lose, I just hate losing. I do not like losing. If it's like $500, $100, I just don't like losing. You know, when I'm like winning, it's like the biggest. When I'm winning, it's the biggest high in the world. I do not like losing. So when I lose, I stop. That's just what I do. Because I know if I'm going to lose, if I go in full tilt, I'm just going to push everything back in, and then eventually it's going to be even worse. So I've been patient. I'm a patient player. That's just who I am. But like you said, it never really ends well. It just doesn't. Darius Dalton. Hey, what's up, buddy? Long time no talk. YouTuber, go sub up Darius. He used to be YouTube Darius. You're not the only one outcast of fear and different feelings about Carson. Yeah, I mean, you and me have been on the same page for a lot of things. Like recently, not so much, but like we've agreed on a lot of things when it came to the Philadelphia Eagles. And, you know, that was one of those things. We just saw something that the other fan base didn't see. And it's taken until now to people to completely bash Carson Wentz. And, you know, I mean, people are coming back to me. Some people aren't even giving me credit for it. You know, they're like, oh, you were too mature. You were too premature with it. He didn't look this bad before. I'm like, just go fuck yourself. Like, seriously, I wouldn't say something on camera if I didn't mean it. You know, I just have those thoughts and opinions where, yes, I do always want to be right because that's the goal. You know, if you don't want to be right, what are you making videos for, you know? But I wouldn't say it if I was going to be wrong. You know, I saw something in Carson Wentz's game against the Indianapolis Colts Week 3 in 2018 to where I was like, this guy is not the same player. And this was his first game back. And I just pick up on things quicker than other people do. You know, I saw something in this game. There was this one play, if you go back and look at it, where he did that Houdini act that he did against the Bears in 2017, where someone was coming at him and he spun out quick and ran for the first down. Ever since that play, have we ever seen him do that again? That's what made him elite, using his legs. He doesn't do it anymore. You know, and that's a big, big, big problem that I've seen a long, long time ago. It's been a long time. But great comment, Darius. Let me see if there's anything else here. This is going by really quick, by the way. Oh my God, not good. I hate when people brag about their money to the poor. Just disgusting. People that brag about their money to the poor don't have money, and those are the facts. You know, if you brag about having money, you don't have money. Now, when I posted my things on YouTube, Facebook, stuff like that, when I won the bets, I wanted to show you guys that I was winning because I like helping people out. You know, I post my picks to my YouTube. I post my picks to Facebook. I was like, remember when I took that, what was it, $2,000 bet on the Philadelphia Eagles against San Fran? that wasn't an easy bet, but I just felt it. I felt something about it. And plus, the public was all over San Fran and Nick Mullins. I was like, all the public is on Nick fucking Mullins. I was like, there was value there. So I took it. It was a big bet, but I took it. Zach isn't here. Zach isn't here. Let me see. What's the most amount of money the Eagles have won you and lost you? I don't really bet on the Eagles. I have a rule against betting, and that's not betting on my team, but I saw value there. That's why I bet it. I looked as an outsider looking in for that game because whenever I bet, I bet on teams that I'm not fans of. But when I saw the Eagles line, I was like, I have to play that because, number one, they were giving them 9.5 points, and the money line was 320. I had to play it. And plus I was on a massive hot streak from earlier in the day. And usually the Sunday night bailout game is the ones where people want to get all their money back, because they lost. In the Sunday night bailout game, you'd think that the 49ers were an easy lock, and that's what I thought. That's what I put 2 and 2 together. So I made a good profit on that game, big time. Looks like the Eagles' wings are being ripped off. I just got to answer this real quick, guys. All right. Looks like the Eagles are being. Yep, they're already ripped off. Do you think Howie is the worst GM in the NFL or just the worst GM the Eagles have ever had? I think Howie Roseman is the worst GM in all of sports, if that makes it simple. That's a great bet. Yep. Well, New York City go underwater. It's going underwater fast without water going on top of it, if that makes any sense. Top 5 worst cities in the world. All right, so Cleveland's got to be in there because it was just a dumpster fire. I got to Cleveland number 5. I haven't been to really many cities, so I can't really judge. But Cleveland's definitely in the top 5. Once I visit all the other cities, I'll make a new list. Do I ever bet on European football? Just the Champions League. Just the Champions League. Yep. Fuck Lamar Jackson and his arrogant ass. He's a very good athlete. He's told he's gifted when it comes to playing the sport of football as an athlete. But as a quarterback, he can't throw the ball. And those are just facts. And that's what's actually killing the Ravens because the Ravens have a stud defense. They have a stud ground game. They have a good coach, great kicker, probably the best in NFL history. And they're just lacking a guy that can throw the ball, and that's the problem. Why did Cuomo win an Emmy? Because the world is fucked right now. By the way, guys, this isn't a political show. This is a sports show. I don't know. I'm probably going to try to have one tomorrow, but it's Thanksgiving Eve, so I'll be at work later. But I was thinking about doing the Fly Like an Eagle podcast, and then maybe afterwards I'll do the political show. Who are we talking about? Arena football. I'm from Philly, and that city is corrupt when it comes to their vote. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I want to figure out who we're talking about. Oh, wait. Keep scrolling. Thanks for the comments, by the way, guys. Do you believe Dak is better than Wentz right now? Yeah, I do. Do I miss Nick Foles? Yes, I do. My bad. What are you bad about? What's your bad? I moved to New York. Sorry. I don't like mixing politics and football. It's very Lamar. It's atrocious. It's really atrocious because politics. There's going to be a group where they won't agree with you and you're not going to agree with them. So it's like, why even talk it? It's bad. It's bad. It's really bad. But that's like not even my biggest concern right now. That was a question. Let's see. No, it's cool, Jake. You're good. You just left New York. You're a smart guy. This Sunday or this Thursday? Ooh, it's a good one. I'm going to go Washington. What the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Don't mix politics with anything. Are Philadelphians rude, Kyle? Yeah, they are. They are. Do you push your betting picks? I do. I've been kind of cold as of lately, but when I catch fire, I usually win 12 out of 14. Like when I get hot, I get hot. Now everyone needs a fucking pull. It'll go away. You see how all the social acts are going away right now because Biden supposedly won the election. It's all going away. Thanks, Lamont. You too. Best Philadelphia Eagle player of all time. I got Reggie. Reggie's an easy one. You guys might not like this one, but I'm gonna go Reggie, and then I'm gonna go Terrell Owens. I think. Hear me out on this one. If Terrell Owens stayed here, he would have been by far our best wide receiver of all time, and him and Donnie would have won a Super Bowl together. He was a game changer. So I think number one's Reggie, and I think number two is Terrell Owens. Do I do parlays or straight bets? I do more straight bets because in the long term they're better for you, but parlays, my parlays hit. I never saw Randall play. Never saw him play. I'd put Mike Vick in that category too. His 2010 season was one of the more dynamic ones of all time. Consistency, I don't know. Who do I think is the best QB in the NFL right now? A lot of the popular pick would be Patrick Mahomes. I'm still gonna go Rodgers. I think Rodgers. There's just something about the guy. Like Rodgers to me, in NFL history, is easily one of the best QBs of all time. I'd have to say Rodgers. Rodgers and then Mahomes second. Best Eagles YouTuber? Me. Yo, Nitro, I'm back. Any good debates when I left? Yeah, you missed some good ones. Rodgers or Favre? Rodgers. Rodgers doesn't turn the ball over. Favre was a gunslinger. Yep, and it's a shame that they only won one title when he was there. Are American people friendly? No, not at all. I mean, have you been around the country? American people are shit to each other. Rather have Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields? Trevor by a mile. But yeah, we have about 7 minutes left, guys. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this therapy hour. I needed to get this off my chest. You guys are the best. But yeah, there was a lot of things to talk about. Yeah, obviously we're playing the Seattle Seahawks on Monday. I will be streaming that game because I usually go to the games. Yes, I probably would have went to the game because I'm an idiot. But I'm going to be streaming it down here because no one's allowed in the stadium. Thank you, Eagles. So I'll be doing that from down here, and maybe some people will hop on the stream and we'll have some fun. But I'll be doing my second live stream of the year. Rogers Blues game against the Colts. You have to understand something. I had the Colts on Sunday. The Colts defense is just nasty. I think the Colts defense is the best in the league. I truly do. They are nasty. They're a sleeper team in my opinion. Now their offense isn't the greatest. I understand that because they have Phillip Rivers. He's old. But Frank Reich, if he's going to find a way, he's going to find a way because that guy's a genius. Giants or Eagles fans, who the worst? Giants. I genuinely believe that too. How did I meet Zach and Trevor? I met Zach because I used to be at this old platform, A2D. I used to be there like over a year ago. And Zach joined them for like a split second. He was there for like a week. And then I asked him when I left A2D, I asked him if he wanted to do a show with me for the upcoming draft and then for the season down the road. And the first show we did, we clicked immediately. Like we had so much chemistry. We let each other talk, and we were like friends from that point forward. Now Trevor, I met through my one friend Rob, and the first time I met him, we were at a Devils and Flyers game. It was at the Rock. This is like 2 years ago, and from that point forward, we clicked as well. And Trevor has his own show called the Upper Bowl Podcast, so that guy knows how to talk. But yeah, those are how I met those two people, and they're really, really good people. They would never backstab you. If the Colts are so good, why the Browns beat their asses? Everyone has a bad game, man. Everyone has a bad game. The Browns aren't a good football team either. Everyone has a bad game. What do you think about Drew Brees? I mean, going back to this one, look at Tom Brady. He got beat, 38-3 3 weeks ago? And that's Tom Brady, you know. What do I think about Brees? Hall of Famer for sure. Devil fans are annoying and scum. No disagreement there. Thoughts on the Steelers overall? It's a good question. You're not going to like it. The most overrated 10-0 team of all time. Their schedule is so easy. I want to see when they play a team like the Chiefs, the Colts, and it would be interesting to see them playing the Ravens this Thursday as well. And I want to see them beat a really good team. You know, I want to see them beat the Chiefs, and I want to see them beat what's their face? What did I just say? I want to see them beat the Colts. Unless they beat the Colts already. I haven't been paying attention. Do I miss Andy Reid? No, I don't. Do Eagles fans hate Giants and Cowboys fans more? A majority of Eagles fans would say Cowboys. I hate Giants fans more. Like, put it this way, all right? Like the Bad Dog, all right? Bad Dog is doing some really good work over there, but just the way he talks, when he talks about the Eagles, like, you just want to smack him in the face. Like, you truly do. Like, it's just, he just gets on your nerves so much. Like, he just knows how to push the right buttons, much like I do. Like, I piss a lot of people off. But god damn, Giants fans are so annoying. Like when they're talking right now, they're like, let's make the playoffs. Let's get the 18th pick overall. Let's have a first place schedule next year. I'm like, you fucking goons. You goons. They beat the Titans. Titans are all right. They're not that good. Yeah, they beat, like I just said, the Titans are like, they're whatever. I still don't think Ryan Tannehill's that good. What about Redskins fans? Yeah, not really. A true NFC East rivalry is with the Giants. A lot more. I agree 100%. But the reason why we hate the Cowboys so much is because back when they used to win all the time, I guess we were jealous, and that's where that originated from. What are you going to do, though? Yeah, Gaze is pretty fucking bad, dude. Really is. Please stay for another 30 minutes. I love you, dog. Maybe 10 minutes, not 30. Cowboys is a social media and internet hate. Yeah, because you know what it is, Speed? I'll be honest. The Cowboys did win 5 rings. Let's just put that to rest. They won 5 rings. No matter how long it was, they won 5 Super Bowl rings. So you have to give them credit where credit is due. But the problem is they live off of those 5 rings for like the next 25 years, and they don't show any signs of getting pissed off. And when you're a franchise and you're a fan that loves a team that has had no success since the 90s, and you're perfectly okay with that, that's why people bash them. Because as a fan, you're not going to see that a team isn't going forward, and you're not going to hate that. You know what I'm saying? It's like the Eagles. The Eagles won a Super Bowl not even 2.5 years ago. You know, they won in February of 2018. And you see how many fans hate this team right now. You know, Cowboys haven't won in since 96, so 24 years. And the fans just seem like they don't care, you know, because they have 5 rings. You know, we won 1 ring and we're ready to fucking fire everybody. That's the difference. Can I be in your live Fly Like an Eagle podcast? Yeah. Well, we have call-in. We have people that call in. So we'll put up the number. You could call in, Laurie Strode. Do I play craps? Played it once, never again. Best rivalry has to be Rangers and Flyers. Not mine. Mine's Pittsburgh Flyers. Skip Bayless is a part of the big reason I hate the Cowboys. And Stephen A. Smith's ranks makes them losing someone. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I'm not going to lie. My thoughts on Cop Pistol. Honest thoughts, I'm not trying to bash the guy, but his shtick is 12 years too old. It really is. The Ric Flair shtick is just way too old. Now, he is being smart. I will say this. He is being smart by saying that Philly 500 could have joined the stream or took over his channel for a week, and if the Giants were to lose to the Eagles, because he knew math was kind of in his favor, but it would be a win-win if they were to lose because let's just say if Philly 500 got Copizzle's channel for that week, all right? You know how many views and subs that Philly 500 would have given Copizzle that week? Like, anyone that had a brain just realized exactly what he was doing because Copizzle's he's not stupid. You know, it was a win-win for him because Philly 500 would have taken over him. E-Rock would have took over Copizzle's channel. I would have put a video on Copizzle's channel, all right? So combined, you know how many subscribers he would have got out of that week? At least 3,000. He would have been put over 10,000 subscribers because he's at 7,000 right now. He's not stupid. So he won. He won that bet. So he got the belt, and he gets publicity from it because everyone, Mark Holmes, Philly 500, everyone's mentioning him. All the big YouTube content creators are mentioning him. He's not stupid. So, you know, I got to give him props. He's a pretty smart guy, but his shtick's got to go. What content creator do I hate? I don't hate anybody. Hate's a strong word. Now, some content creators get on my nerves because they're not very bright, but I'm not going to call anybody out. It's just not what I do anymore. I'm 28. I don't call anybody out anymore. Which part of the team to fix first with a draft? You either got to go O-line or linebacker. You know, we haven't had a pure linebacker in fucking years. And I think it's time we need to address that position. Thoughts on an Arch Fiend? He went away. He used to be really funny. I don't know why he went away like that, but yeah, he was a good content creator. Thoughts on the Steelers as a franchise? I mean, they have 6 rings. They're one of the best in the NFL. You got to give it to them. Steel Curtain back in the day. You got to give it to them. Got to hate Lamar Jackson. Why do you hate Lamar Jackson? I already read that. Why did the Flyers fans throw bracelets? Easy. Alcohol-induced, getting your ass kicked in the first round, going down 3-0 in the playoffs, not showing up. Philly fans are passionate. They're assholes, and that's why they did it. That's what happened. It was on Ed Snyder night, too. I'll never forget it. You got to give it to the Pats as well. I see the thing is I don't really want to give it to the Pats because they did have Spygate. They had cheating in their past, but yeah, I'll give you a little bit of credit. It's really tough to win 6 titles. Lamar will never be good as Vic, in my opinion. Yeah, you're right. But Lamar did get one thing. Did Vic ever win MVP? I don't think he did. Lamar is an MVP. Who wins NFC East? I'm probably going to go with the Giants. Will I make more new political videos? Yeah, every Wednesday I have a political show. I have a political show every Wednesday. It's not a sports show. So anyone that likes me for my sports, it's not the show for you. Who's way more arrogant, New York or Philly? It's got to be New York. By far. It's not. I don't even think it's close. How bad does it hurt that Nelson is having a career year in Las Vegas and not having Justin Jefferson? I like Jalen Reagor personally, so the Justin Jefferson comment doesn't bother me. But Nelson having a career year in Las Vegas, I saw it coming just because usually people that don't have a thick mind, it hurts their skill, if that makes any sense. You know, now he's out there in Las Vegas with no fans and a fresh start. He doesn't have any pressure on him. So he's making the catches there that he never made here. I saw that coming from a mile away. Nelson's footwork, in my opinion, his footwork alone is the best in the NFL. Like it really is. His and Cooper Kupp's, I would say, is the best in the NFL. I think Jerry Jeudy, too. Those are the top 3 in footwork I see in the NFL. But, yeah, if he could just catch the ball here, he'd still be here. He'd be a dynamic player, but he can never catch the ball. Someone has just joined my channel. They clearly don't really know me. I'm not tune in tomorrow. I'm not going to answer that here. Is Boston really a racist city? I mean, I personally think they are, but I'm not going to comment any further. Who do I think comes out of the NFC? NFC? From what I've seen? Oh, that's a good question. There's a couple good teams. I'm trying to think. I'm going to go with a sleeper. And I might get dissed for it. Arizona. I think Arizona is going to come out of the NFC. I'm not a huge fan of Kyler Murray, but I just think they're the most complete team in the NFC right now. I truly do. I would say the Packers, but I just don't like their defense. I don't like the Packers' defense at all. What baseball team and basketball team are you a fan of? Well, obviously, everyone knows I'm a New York Yankee fan. I don't like the Phillies at all. I'm a New York Yankee fan. And the basketball team I like is 76ers. I would say the Saints. Well, the Saints would be the obvious pick, but Drew Brees is really hurt, and Taysom Hill's not a good quarterback. He's going to get exposed by a real defense. I don't know. I just like Arizona. I don't know why. Yeah, and plus Larry Fitzgerald's almost out of the door anyway, so that would make sense. It would be telling. I like Arizona a lot. I really do. They had to lose eventually. They lost to the Seahawks at home, which they looked like they were going to win if they didn't get that safety put on them. But what's holding me back from liking Kyler? He's very quick, very mobile, very smart. I don't like his mechanics. You know, that one throw to Hopkins in the end zone was perfect. I don't like the way he throws the ball. I don't know what it is, but he has a really good team around him. So it might, especially like a sleeper like Chase Edmonds at running back, very good team around him. So it might not even matter, but the speed he possesses is just, it's unreal. What do I think about the Steelers? Are they for real? I don't think they're for real at all. I truly don't. I think their schedule's been very easy. But, you know, with that said, guys, I stayed on 7 minutes longer. I'm going to get off of this stream. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. This was a great therapy hour. You guys helped me out so much. And, yeah, I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. And, as always, we're going to have Fly Like an Eagle podcast tomorrow. It's going to be on a Wednesday because, obviously, Thanksgiving's on Thursday. Zach will be with his family, so it's going to be tomorrow. And then right after that or before that, I might do my political show. So we might do a double show tomorrow. But yeah, just come on back tomorrow. We'll have some fun. All right. See you guys. Bye.